Hey everybody, happy 2024 and happy Friday. So just got off a call with one of my consulting clients, and we had a problem that I think affects most CEOs at some point or another. And we found an interesting solution that was an insight to me, and I wanted to share it because I think it could help you. So when we hopped on the call today, we had plans to work on forward moving things, KPIs, some stuff we had planned. Well, we couldn't, because the CEO was so frustrated, red in the face, right? Bloodshot eyes, not bloodshot, but just seeing red. And so we had to stop. We had to dig into that. Anytime anyone's emotional, the brain's not working the right way, right? You got the limbic system firing. So we dove into that instead. And here's what had happened. So they had just gotten off an angry client call. They had onboarded the client a week ago. They handed off to the team to onboard them and get all the materials ready. And someone screwed something up. That client got something, they're like, whoa, this is not at all what we wanted. You didn't listen to me, yada, yada, right? And this obviously was a big deal, right? We had plans to work forward moving with the CEO. And at minimum, even if we didn't have a call, they could have been calling, prospecting, filling the pipeline, a million things forward that are actually money makers. But instead, they had to go backwards, right? And how many times have you had to do that? It's just frustrating. It's stuck. It's going in circles. So the root of the problem is we dug down. Flat out, one of their team members missed something. And yes, it was in their project management system. It was detailed right there. And yes, they should have caught it. So we dug into that. Hey, well, what are who's watching that and who's managing it and yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, my thing was like, how did no one else catch that? There's a lot of people involved in most onboarding processes, especially this one. And how did nobody else say something? It was a pretty obvious error that got all the way to the end and no one saw it. Well, talking about it, the fact of the matter is, even though that stuff's written down and logged and that employee's there and we know they're accountable, it hasn't been practiced, right? It hasn't been rehearsed enough. And what comes to me and what we talked about is, think about a football team. If you want to be a successful football team, and I played football, the good ones, they practice the same plays over and over and over and over again. And it's one thing to have in the playbook to see your route, if you're a receiver, see who you're blocking, but it's another thing in real life when the situation's happening, right? To defense shifts, or you don't cut the way you thought you did on paper. And so you need that feedback. And same with plays, right? Same with actual plays, rehearsal. There's the script and people can read it, but in the situation, you might forget. Something happens, or someone's in the crowd you really like and you get nervous, something, along those lines. I would even say fire drills. When you have a fire drill, like in the moment, in the panic, whoa, what do we do? And so this employee, they were overwhelmed. They had a lot of stuff going on. It's not really an excuse. This is pretty critical, right? Unhappy clients is not gonna bode well at any time. But the answer is proactively, right? We got to have that proactive solution. And it's setting time aside to rehearse, to go through the whole thing and to do it with the entire team, because the entire team's to blame. Someone should have called it out. But it was so disjointed. Everyone's in their own pocket and vacuum doing their own thing, and things are coming at them that no one realized it. And that's an issue. So you have little parts that aren't equaling the whole. So the solution we're putting in place is next week for our session. We're going to bring the team on it. We're going to walk through that thing. We're going to do it 10 times. We're going to create a visual map, and we're going to walk through it just like a playbook, right? And I'm going to help be the coach, right? And look at that cut and look, are we doing it tight? Are we doing it well? Because the team really does need that feedback. As much as we think, hey, I said it, it's there, but they might forget the line. So that's my challenge to you. Are you taking time and setting time to rehearse your plays and putting them down somewhere in a source of truth where you can see them and visually work them? So hopefully that helps. Maybe that helps you avoid some problems, because as they say, right, ounce of pound cure preventive, fill in the blanks. Now, if you're not somebody who enjoys those meetings, or you're a CEO, you just don't have time, of course, you can always reach out. I'm happy to DM and give more thoughts of mine, or even run the meetings for you. That's something I just love doing, and nitpicking and getting the micro optimizations till it's perfect. All right, that said, hope this was helpful. We'll see you next video.